Finding love later in life can feel like an uphill battle, but it's a journey many embark on with the hope of companionship, connection, and joy. It's a deeply human experience to want someone to share your days with, someone who understands your quirks, your humor, and the richness of your life story. Yet for those over 60, the path to love often feels riddled with obstacles. The world has changed, the ways people meet and bond have shifted, and sometimes it feels as though time itself has erected barriers to finding that special someone. But why does it feel so hard? What makes the pursuit of love in our later years so different? And what are the invisible forces that make it seem out of reach? For many, the search for love as an older person begins with the stark realization that the traditional avenues for meeting potential partners are no longer as accessible. The spontaneous connections that once blossomed in workplaces, social gatherings, or while raising families have diminished, leaving many feeling like their opportunities to meet new people have dried up. Add to that the impact of retirement, a double-edged sword that offers freedom but also isolates people from the networks they relied on for social interaction. The rhythm of life slows, routines change, and the chance encounters that once seemed inevitable now feel rare. The changing nature of friendships and family dynamics also plays a role. Children grow up and lead lives of their own, often with families and commitments that leave little time to spend with aging parents. Friends may move away, become consumed with their own concerns, or, heartbreakingly, pass on. The once vibrant social circles of middle age can dwindle in later years, leaving a sense of solitude that magnifies the difficulty of finding love. For many, this isolation creates a mental block, a nagging belief that their time for romance is past, and the world is no longer a welcoming place for love to bloom. Another challenge stems from the emotional weight of the past. By the time someone reaches their 60s or beyond, they often carry a tapestry of life experiences, some joyful, some painful, and all deeply personal. Past relationships, particularly those that ended in heartbreak, divorce, or the loss of a spouse, leave marks that don't fade easily. The process of opening up to someone new, of letting down emotional walls, can feel overwhelming when those walls have been fortified by decades of lived experience. The fear of vulnerability, the anxiety of getting hurt again, and even guilt over moving on from a lost loved one can act as significant barriers to forming new connections. Then there's the issue of confidence, which, despite the wisdom and perspective gained with age, can waver in the face of the unfamiliar. Dating has changed dramatically in recent decades. The rise of online dating, with its profiles, algorithms, and endless swipes, can feel alien and daunting to those who grew up meeting partners face-to-face. For someone unaccustomed to navigating the digital world, the idea of putting themselves out there in such a public and technology-driven way may seem insurmountable. This hesitancy can be compounded by societal stereotypes, where youth is often celebrated as the pinnacle of desirability, leaving older individuals to wrestle with feelings of inadequacy or invisibility. Physical health and appearance are also common sources of insecurity. Time inevitably leaves its mark on all of us, and while older adults are no strangers to the realities of aging, the pressure to meet certain standards of beauty can still weigh heavily. The natural changes in one's body, mobility, or energy levels can make people feel self-conscious, leading them to question whether they are truly lovable in their current stage of life. These insecurities, though often internalized, can act as a silent saboteur, discouraging even the most hopeful from seeking love. Complicating matters further is the question of compatibility. At a younger age, potential partners often shared similar stages of life goals and experiences, building careers, starting families, or creating shared futures. As an older person, the diversity of life paths becomes more pronounced. Some people in their 60s and 70s may still feel full of energy and adventure, eager to travel, try new hobbies, or even start fresh chapters. while others might be more content to settle into routines and cherish the quiet moments. Finding someone whose lifestyle, interests, and energy match your own can feel like searching for a needle in a haystack. Even when two people connect, the realities of later life relationships can pose unique challenges. Blending families, reconciling financial situations, and adjusting to each other's well-established habits and ways of living can be sources of tension. The stakes often feel higher, with less time to figure it out and greater awareness of what's at risk. These considerations can make people cautious, hesitant to take the plunge into a relationship that might disrupt the stability they've worked so hard to build. Despite these challenges, the yearning for love and companionship doesn't fade with age. It remains a fundamental human desire, rooted in the need to connect, share, and belong. The loneliness that many older people experience isn't a reflection of their worth or their ability to love. It's a consequence of a world that isn't always designed to support or celebrate love in its later stages. Yet, understanding these barriers is the first step in overcoming them. Recognizing the forces at play, both external and internal, can provide the clarity and courage needed to navigate this journey. The journey to finding love later in life is not without its rewards. For all the challenges and fears, there's a richness to love in one's later years that younger generations may not fully appreciate. Older adults often bring to relationships a depth of understanding, emotional maturity, and resilience that only a lifetime of experiences can cultivate. Yet, these qualities alone do not always guarantee success in the search for a partner. The struggle persists in part because love is not just about finding someone. It's about being ready to embrace the complexities that come with it. One of the most significant hurdles for older adults is the process of unlearning certain expectations about what love should look like. After decades of living, many people have constructed a mental blueprint for an ideal relationship, sometimes based on a past partner, societal norms, or romanticized notions of love. These blueprints, while comforting, can become rigid frameworks that make it difficult to connect with real people who might not fit perfectly into preconceived molds. For example, someone who has lost a spouse might unintentionally compare every new potential partner to their late love, creating impossible standards. Others may be influenced by memories of past relationships that were deeply flawed, leading them to overcompensate or avoid certain traits entirely. Letting go of these ingrained patterns can be painful, but is often necessary to make space for a new kind of connection. Another aspect of this unlearning involves redefining what it means to be in a relationship. For older adults, love often looks different than it did in their 20s, 30s, or 40s. The passionate intensity of youth might give way to something quieter, but no less meaningful. A partnership built on shared values, mutual respect, and a profound sense of companionship. Understanding and embracing this shift can be liberating, but it requires a mindset that is open to change. Unfortunately, not everyone is willing to adapt, and some may find themselves caught between longing for love and resisting the transformations it demands. Practical concerns also loom large in the minds of older individuals contemplating new relationships. By the time someone reaches their 60s or 70s, their life is often firmly established with routines, responsibilities, and priorities that may not easily accommodate a new person. For many, the idea of starting fresh, adjusting to another person's habits, preferences, and even quirks can feel daunting. Questions about independence naturally arise. How much of my life am I willing to change? Will I lose my freedom or sense of self in this relationship? For those who have lived alone for many years, these questions carry even greater weight, as the prospect of compromise feels both unfamiliar and intimidating. Financial concerns further complicate the picture. Unlike younger couples who might build a life together from scratch, older individuals often come into relationships with well-established financial situations, including retirement plans, savings, and possibly even obligations to children or grandchildren. Discussions about money can be uncomfortable, especially for those who have been self-sufficient for years or who worry about protecting their financial legacy. These practicalities, while necessary to address, can overshadow the emotional and romantic aspects of a relationship, adding layers of complexity to an already delicate process. Health is another reality that cannot be ignored. As people age, health concerns inevitably become a larger part of life. Chronic illnesses, mobility challenges, and other medical issues can make dating and forming new relationships more difficult. For some, the fear of becoming a burden to a partner or taking on the role of caregiver can discourage them from pursuing love altogether. These fears, though deeply personal, are not uncommon and often require both honesty and courage to confront. Acknowledging these challenges without letting them dictate one's choices is a balancing act, but it's one that many older adults successfully navigate with patience and determination. Even the social stigma surrounding older adults and romance can create barriers. Society often perpetuates the misconception that love and intimacy are the domain of the young, relegating older people to the sidelines when it comes to discussions of desire and passion. This cultural bias can erode self-esteem and lead individuals to question whether seeking love at their age is even appropriate. For women in particular, this stigma can be especially damaging, as they often face heightened scrutiny about their appearance and desirability as they age. Overcoming these ingrained societal attitudes requires a certain defiance, a willingness to reject outdated narratives, and claim one's right to love and connection at any age. For those who do venture into the world of dating, the experience can be both exhilarating and intimidating. The rise of online dating platforms tailored to older adults has opened new doors, offering a way to connect with potential partners beyond one's immediate social circle. Yet, these platforms come with their own set of challenges. Crafting a profile, navigating conversations, and dealing with the occasional disappointment of mismatched expectations can be exhausting. The fear of rejection is real, and for many, the process can feel like a vulnerable step into unfamiliar territory. But for all its difficulties, online dating also offers hope, a way to meet people who might share your interests, values, and outlook on life. In-person opportunities for connection still exist, though they often require stepping out of one's comfort zone. Community events, classes, and volunteer activities can be wonderful ways to meet like-minded individuals, but they demand a certain level of openness and initiative. For some, particularly those who feel shy or uncertain, this can be a significant hurdle. Yet, the rewards of pushing past that initial discomfort can be profound. Meeting someone in person, building a connection over time, and feeling the spark of chemistry can remind older adults that love is not only possible but deeply enriching. Despite these avenues, it's not uncommon for older individuals to feel disheartened by the process. The idea of starting over can be emotionally exhausting, especially after facing setbacks or encountering people who aren't looking for the same things. Yet, each interaction, whether successful or not, is an opportunity to learn, grow, and refine one's understanding of what they truly want in a partner. It's a process that requires persistence, self-compassion, and a willingness to embrace the unexpected. For those who persist in the journey, the potential rewards of finding love later in life are profound. While the process is rarely easy, it offers an opportunity to rediscover parts of oneself that may have been dormant for years. Love at this stage isn't just about companionship. It's about connection, renewal, and the joy of sharing life's moments with someone who truly understands. It's about proving to yourself and perhaps to the world that your heart still beats with the capacity for affection, desire, and intimacy. One of the greatest joys of finding love in later years is the clarity it brings. By the time you reach your 60s or 70s, you have a deep understanding of who you are, what you want, and what you're willing to offer in a relationship. The insecurities and uncertainties of youth give way to a sense of self-assuredness, allowing you to approach love with a level of authenticity that might have been harder to access earlier in life. This clarity can make relationships richer and more rewarding, as both partners are likely to have a better grasp of their needs and boundaries. Moreover, love in later life often comes with a refreshing absence of pretense. The games, the posturing, and the unrealistic expectations that can dominate youthful relationships tend to fall away, replaced by an honesty born of experience. People in their later years are often more willing to be vulnerable, to share their fears and dreams openly, and to accept each other's imperfections. This kind of emotional intimacy can lead to bonds that are not only deep but also remarkably resilient. Another unique aspect of later life relationships is the freedom to focus on the present. In earlier stages of life, relationships are often entwined with planning for the future, building careers, raising children, buying homes, and preparing for what's to come. But as an older adult, the focus shifts. With many of life's milestones already behind you, love becomes less about planning and more about being. The joy of simply spending time together, sharing experiences, and cherishing each day becomes the centerpiece of the relationship. This emphasis on the present can create a sense of peace and contentment that feels distinctly different from the love of youth. However, the process of finding and nurturing this kind of love requires a certain level of bravery. It means being willing to confront your fears and insecurities, to step out of your comfort zone, and to embrace the possibility of failure. This can be particularly challenging for those who have experienced loss or heartbreak in the past. The fear of losing another partner, of being hurt, or of facing the unknown can make the prospect of love feel risky. But it is precisely this risk that makes love so valuable. To open your heart again is to affirm your faith in life, in connection, and in the beauty of shared humanity. It's also important to remember that love doesn't always come in the form of a romantic partner. For many older adults, deep friendships, family bonds, and community connections provide the companionship and affection they seek. These relationships can be just as fulfilling, offering a sense of belonging and support that enriches life in countless ways. The key is to remain open to love in all its forms, to recognize that it doesn't have to follow a traditional script to be meaningful and transformative. For those who do find romantic love later in life, the impact can be life-changing. It's not just about having someone to share meals or holidays with. It's about feeling seen and valued, about knowing that someone cares for you deeply and accepts you just as you are. This sense of mutual respect and appreciation can bring a renewed sense of purpose and joy, making life's later years some of the most fulfilling. And yet, love in later life is not without its challenges. Blending families, adjusting to new routines, and navigating the logistics of shared lives can be complex. It requires patience, compromise, and a willingness to work through difficulties. But these challenges are often outweighed by the rewards. The ability to face life's ups and downs with a partner by your side can make even the most mundane moments feel special. For those still searching, it's essential to approach the journey with an open mind and a hopeful heart. Love can come from unexpected places, and it often arrives when you least expect it. Whether it's through a chance meeting, an introduction from a friend, or even a moment of serendipity in an online message, the possibilities are endless. The key is to stay curious, to keep putting yourself out there, and to believe that love is not limited by age or circumstance. Equally important is the relationship you have with yourself. Loving yourself, truly embracing who you are, flaws and all, is the foundation for finding and maintaining meaningful connections with others. It's about recognizing your worth, celebrating your strengths, and treating yourself with kindness and respect. When you cultivate a sense of self-love, you create an inner confidence that radiates outward, drawing people to you and making it easier to form genuine connections. Ultimately, The search for love later in life is a testament to the enduring human spirit. It's a reminder that no matter how many years have passed, the capacity to love and be loved remains a vital part of who we are. For those willing to take the leap, to embrace the uncertainty and the possibility, the rewards can be immeasurable. Love, after all, is not about age. It's about connection, understanding, and the shared joy of being together. And that is something worth pursuing at any stage of life. As we wrap up, let's take a moment to reflect on everything we've explored. Finding love later in life isn't always easy, but it's absolutely worth the journey. Whether you're stepping into the dating world for the first time in decades, rediscovering yourself, or simply learning to appreciate the relationships already in your life, the pursuit of connection is a beautiful testament to the resilience of the human spirit. Love doesn't have an expiration date, and neither does your ability to experience its joys and complexities. And hey, even if you're not actively searching, just opening yourself up to new experiences can be a game changer. You never know when a chance meeting at a coffee shop or a conversation during a community event could spark something special. Life has a funny way of surprising us when we least expect it, doesn't it? So, stay curious, keep your heart open, and don't let doubts hold you back. You've lived through so much, and the wisdom you carry makes you an incredible person to love. Speaking of surprises, I bet you didn't expect to find yourself here today, diving into this topic, did you? Maybe you clicked out of curiosity, or perhaps you've been wrestling with the idea of love yourself. Whatever brought you here, I hope you found a little inspiration and a lot of encouragement. Honestly, I think that's what life is all about. These little moments where we connect, share stories, and remind each other that we're not alone in our journeys. That's exactly why I love sharing this kind of content with you. Now, before you go, here's a quick thought. If you've been enjoying this, why not make it part of your routine? If you're anything like me, you probably get a little thrill from discovering something new, a fresh perspective, an idea that sticks with you, or even a story that feels like it's speaking directly to you. That's what I hope to bring every time we connect here. And the best way to keep that going, you guessed it, make sure to like and subscribe. Not only does it help you stay up to date with the latest uploads, but it also means we get to keep building this incredible community together. So go ahead, hit that button. You know you wanna. Alright, I won't keep yapping at you all day, though I could probably talk about this forever. Seriously though, thank you for spending this time with me. Whether you're here to learn, laugh, or just feel a little less alone, I hope you leave with a smile and maybe even a renewed sense of possibility. Life is short, but it's also wonderfully full of surprises, and you never know what tomorrow might bring. Take care of yourself, and until next time, I hope you have an absolutely amazing day. See you soon.